to other members, it's very funny because they're always looking for you to talk about politics. So I always start off my conversation by saying, I just want to check in on you, see how everything's going. This is just a wellness check-in. I catch them off guard. They like, oh, that's it? I was like, yes, I just want to see how you're doing. I'm a member just like you. I want to know if you need anything. Some conversations lead to, what can I find in the grocery store? I can't find this. Can you help me locate it? Like, I had one member ask me, where can I find Lysol? And I ended up giving her the trick on finding where to get Lysol. So it's just making that personal connection. Like, we're just here to help each other out, lend a helping hand, because you don't know what anybody's going through. So even though I may have a bad day, talking to somebody, I may uplift them during their day. So just having that personal connection, going back and forth, and then that's how I just keep it going. It's always nice to check in on somebody that you is unexpected. So just to have somebody to call to say how you're doing, what's going on, sometimes that makes the person's day. You never know what they're going through.
I think it's really good that you can, as me, as a new person coming in, you can let them know that you don't have to really be a leader, or you don't have to be a president of an organization, that you can, there's a space for you, and that that you can actually volunteer and help. Like, you can make calls and tell your friends, and they can also get involved. So it's good to know that there's a space for you, that you can actually, it's just not an organization, that it's almost a family, that we're reaching out and we care for one another about your well-being, and just saying, how are you? So I think it's important that you could let them know that you're just an ordinary member. I'm a teacher, and I want to get involved. I'm just checking in on you. And I think that's the beginning to make long-lasting, building relationships.
I feel like also it shrinks the 200,000. Like, having the conversation allows you to sort of shrink your association. And just going off of what you said, Faye, like for presidents, even if you are a leader, that's all the more reason that you should be doing outreach, because of what you just said. Sometimes people can feel like there's this separation between, well, I'm not the president of my local, I'm not the president of my county. But if we're all interacting as a union, there should be no just before somebody says their name. So you should be able to have a conversation regardless of the title that you hold. You should be able to still have those conversations. And I think for leaders, and like even for me being a president, I can sometimes get so caught up in all of the things that I have to complete, but having the conversations with the members sort of bring you back down to earth, because it's like making this meal, and I can make this meal and everyone will eat it because they're hungry, or I can have a conversation with you and find out what it is that you want to eat, and you'll eat it because you're hungry and you're happy. And I think having the 200K conversation allows us to do that, to create the meals that our members actually want to eat, not just the meals that we think that they should have. So.
Well, I think it's like one of those things, you look at our organization and how diverse it is, and how we need to organize ourselves and try to get us to move in one direction, where we are thinking about the external factors as well as the internal factors.
It's Melissa Tomlinson. I'm a special education teacher in Atlantic County. I think the end goal of the 200K program is ultimately to build relationships and to help the members feel connected to one another, bring about the realization of how important union is, our union structures, our union beliefs, and how they are actually really connected to what we're fighting for, not only in our schools, but also our communities.
So when you make these conversations and these connections, it's like they find that maybe you know more information than what they're looking for, or maybe you know something that they need to know. So open up that door where, okay, everybody let their guard down. Let's have a conversation, because at this moment in time, we're all in the same position. No one is better than the other. We're all in the same position. So how can we help each other to connect and to move forward? How can we make our situation better in this time? So it forced everybody to be still, to reevaluate what's more important, how to organize, how can we come together. And I felt that this is making our union stronger, because now I was realizing that we are our union. How can we build a stronger union? And with all the groups being formed, especially on Facebook. Like, it's so many groups that came together just to provide information and resources, and that helped build that connection, that personal connection. I think that's how we're getting so many people involved. We're going to conferences that they never been before. We're actually sharing the information. It's not always the same people attending. We're actually bringing new members and also the old ones that have never been involved. But now we're building this connection because we've made that personal contact. So now everybody feels that we're all one family now. So it's breaking that barrier, like it's no leaders, we're all members.
That sense of community that you just described, that seems to be an underlying theme of the pandemic, right? How do we build community to strengthen ourselves, to see all of this through? And part of that is recognizing an individual for what they are and not placing parameters of, well, you're a union member, this is why you need to be involved because this is your union, but taking them at face value with what they bring to the table to the union instead of what the union can do for them. I had a conversation with one member who's down in the area, and we were just talking about things that we're doing outside of the union now that the pandemic was upon us and what we had time for. And we had a common theme of both being interested in working for racial justice. And with her being in South Jersey, I told her about the South Jersey Social Justice Coalition. I told her about the Black Lives Matter at School meetings that we have down here in Atlantic County. And she was very interested. And we ended up becoming friends on Facebook so that we could connect and I could let her know when we're having our different meetings and different events. So that right there was one connection, that she never saw the union as a space to be able to do that other work that she was so deeply interested and involved in already. But that just created a sense of unity and community for both areas in her life.
Very good, thank you. And I just wanted, I don't know if I would answer this question. I can ask myself a question. So Katie, what do you, no, I just wanted to speak about like the data. People ask us like what kind of data we collect from these calls, and the call itself is meant to be authentic, and it's really a one-on-one conversation to check in with a member. But if we do find out what is important to that member, if it's something that we have on our list, we mark it on the list so that we know how many members, if COVID is the most important thing, or is it evaluations, or is it, you know, privatization issues, like these are all, or is it social justice issues? And then if the conversation leads to it, we have a lot of activists in our midst that we don't even maybe necessarily have them organized with NJEA, but they could be a social justice activist, they could be an environmental activist. And so it's important for us to know, because there is a place in the union for everyone. And so it's just one more way that we can, you know, gather information about our members so that we can reach out to them later to organize. So I just wanted to put that part out there. And also we get callers from this work. A lot of people on this call were called, and that's why they decided to be a part of it.
I know I'm far away. Okay. Sue Davis, Sussex County, I teach first grade. I think the end goal of 2000K is to definitely make personal relationships with our association members, and for all of them to feel that they are an active member of the association, that they all contribute, that we ask for their opinions, and they need to participate in the association.
Great, thank you. Anybody else? You can just unmute yourself if you want to do this one. Okay, because I'm using.
I'll take one, Katie.
Okay, thank you, Chrissy. Which one do you want to do?
Okay, I'm going to do the same one, the end goal.
Okay, what is the end goal?
Okay, Chrissy Kosar. I'm a bus driver in Washington Township, Gloucester County. I don't think there is an end goal. I think there's a goal. There's a goal to connect people, to let them know that they are heard, that they are being listened to, that they are being connected. I think that too often our ESPs and our teachers are treated differently. I feel that our minorities are treated differently, and we are actually a union, which means we're all one. So conversations bring us closer together. We can't see somebody's skin color, the size of their body, the job description when we speak to them on the phone. We hear a voice, and that's what the NJEA is, a voice.
Very good answer. Thank you, Chrissy Kosar. And okay, Tracie, you have this one, I think, right? Has your conversation helped anyone?
Yes.
Okay.
My name is Tracie Yostpille. I'm a teacher, social studies teacher for the 7th grade in Freehold Township. I had a phone call with a member who was very distraught, and I just happened to call her at the right time. She had received a letter in her file of reprimand the day that I called her, and I was able to tell her to email her field rep. She knew the name of her field rep, and to include in the CC her local president, so the president knew, and get her help. And within 24 hours, her president and her field rep were able to address her concerns. So to actually make a phone call to someone who was in tears and distraught and to give her the help that she needed, that her union was here to help her, really made it worth every phone call that I've ever made.
How the conversations helped. I think they've helped our members because they're stressed during this pandemic, and having a one-on-one conversation lets them know that we're here, we care, and that we can help them adjust their issues and concerns or direct them to someone that would be able to help them. So I believe that it's a positive reach out to our members, and they've been very grateful and happy for the phone call, and very appreciative.
Great. Thank you, Lois. And the next one is, what is a meaningful response you got? Does anybody want to try that one? What a meaningful response they got?
I'll do one if you want.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, this is Steve Beatty, high school social studies teacher, secretary treasurer. They're all meaningful responses when we talk to members. Like every time you get someone on the phone and you listen to what they have to say, that's an important conversation, right? Someone that was, you reached out to that wasn't expecting it, and yet here you were talking to them. So every bit of information you get, every connection you make with a member is meaningful in all these conversations.
Tracie Williams, middle school science teacher, Pemberton Township, Burlington County. The end goal of 200K is to make personal relationship with our members, for our members to feel connected.
I'll take that one.
Okay, thank you, Nikki.
Hi, Nikki Baker. I work in Patterson. I'm an instructional assistant for the special ed department, K through 2 autism. I know it's a mouthful. We gain a stronger union, and it seems cliche, but each of our members is the union. A lot of us look at leadership and just say, oh, what is leadership doing? But we are the union. We are what who speaks to leadership. We are the ones who make this strong, and these conversations allow us to connect with each other. And one benefit that I found is that when a fellow member hears that another member is calling them, they're like, oh, I'm a member, you're a member, this, I can help too, or I'm glad you called, and that is a big impact, I think, a stronger union.
Okay, so hi everyone, Stephanie, proud teacher from Essex County, and I take part of this movement because every member's voice counts. Now more than ever, we need to come together and support one another, especially during these challenging times. And this movement helps build strength through member engagement. And we all are the union, and together we can make the change we want to see.